Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another video. We're back with more reveals from Anniversary Box 2020, and today there's just a ton of green stuff in this Anniversary Box. I didn't count it up or anything, but there just seems to be a lot of green support, or at least a lot of support thrown towards like green rogue tier decks. So we'll go over a bunch of those in today's video, talk about if they'll bring green back up from the bottom tier of rogue. Possibly, hopefully, maybe. Anyways, that being said, though, if you guys are new here, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a video. And if you guys want to support the channel, there are always ways down in the description that I will greatly appreciate. But today, if you want to buy or pre-order any trading cards, feel free to use my link in the description to TCG Player. It does help out a lot. Anyways, let's jump right on into the first card. We're not talking about a green card. Not all these are green. But first, we have Janemba, New Depths of Evil. We have a 1 Z Energy Z Leader critical Z Awaken for a blue. If your life's 3 or less and you place 1 5-star ball Parasitic Darkness from your hand or drop under your leader Janemba. So this is meant to go with the I can't remember what set it was, set 14 Janemba Xeno whole archetype, where they pretty much destroyed that archetype by limiting Janemba Bewitching Blow, which was the only good Janemba you can actually do the parasitic chain with. But they try to fix that with this leader. So when this card attacks, draw 1, then choose all your Janemba Xeno cards, which would include the leader itself, and they get plus 5,000 power for the turn. So they've done a lot of this with Z leaders, where some of them are 20k base, which is really strong, but some of them are only 20k during your own turn, and this is another way of doing that. Some have permanents that grant them 5,000, so it's cool they hit for bigger numbers, but it always kind of sucks defensively that they're not 20k bases like some of the other Z leaders. Auto, place 1 card from your hand to the bottom of your deck and add 1 5-star ball Parasitic Darkness from under this card to your hand. At the end of your turn, switch 1 of your energy to active mode and remove this card from the game. So you are getting energy back, which will help you defensively. I hate that you lose your Z leader as a result of this. I wish that wasn't the case, but it is what it is. Activate once per turn, choose 1 of your Janemba cards and add 1 to its energy cost for the turn. So instead of printing a new 3-cost Janemba that was maybe more balanced than Bewitching Blow, they decided to make this Z leader that increases the energy cost of a Janemba so you can do the parasitic ball stuff. I guess that's cool. I don't know if this is going to necessarily make that whole strategy any good. And the other weird thing too is, like, unfortunately the pure leader for the Janemba Xeno archetype is not all that great. I'm pretty sure the Unwicked side doesn't even draw, or one of the sides doesn't draw, if I'm remembering that correctly. Not to say that leaders that don't draw are inherently bad, but that was one of the main reasons people played that chain with leaders outside of that one, because that leader wasn't so great. So is this alone gonna make that leader much better? Probably not, unfortunately. They should have really went about this by printing a new Janemba 3-cost that could have been a bit more balanced with the strategy, but for whatever reason they went with this. Then we have SS Caulifla, Tenacious Spirit. This card's pretty cool, actually. So this is a 4-drop with a 2Z energy cost, 20k, deflect, unique, double strike, blocker. Do those stats ring a bell? Auto, choose 1 of your blue Kale leaders. When this card's played, place top card of your deck under the chosen card, which, if you don't know, is kind of Kale's gimmick to ramp energy. If your leader is a blue Kale, when this card attacks, use 1 blue card with 5k combo from your drop in a combo with its skills negated for the turn. Then choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards ignoring barrier and place it at the bottom of the owner's deck. Barrier removal is very, very welcome here. And then if your leader is a blue Kale card, at the end of your turn, switch this card to active mode and switch with 1 of your mono blue energy to active mode. So this is basically an in-archetype Buu unison for Kale, which Kale can already play on turn 3. So imagine some type of curve like turn 3 Buu unison, turn 4 play this. This is actually something worth ramping to, and if you don't happen to draw the Buu unison, you can just play this right out of the Z deck. So your curve is going to actually end up curving out very nicely, where again, it's like turn 3, this or Buu, and then turn 5, the other one. This is a really good card for Kale. Is it going to make Kale a great blue ramp deck? Probably not, when we have like Beerus, SS4 Vegeta, and the new Reboot Goku leader, which are all generic ramp leaders. It's a little rough that Kale is tied into Universe 6 cards when all these other decks are able to ramp and play whatever they want. But it could still be okay, because we can still play all the generic blue unisons, and we still have Kale 5-drop, which is one of the best blue bombs in the game. So maybe there's something there. This is a really, really good card, though. Frieza Before the Fall. So we'll start with some green stuff. We have a 4-drop 19k with deflect. Auto limit 1 for green. If your leader is a green Frieza army card, or sorry, Frieza card, and you have a green unison in play, when your leader skill causes your opponent to discard a card from their hand, play this card from your hand. So this is meant to support the set 10 starter deck Frieza, and the leader swings and makes them pitch a card in the awakened side, and then it has an activate main that also makes them pitch a card. So this is very usable on both sides. When this card's played, draw one and discard one card from your hand. That'll combo nicely with a few cards in the deck, one of which, though, is Doria, which I believe just plays itself for free immediately, or for 1 energy. I can't remember which it does, but this does synergize with cards in the deck that want you to discard them. And then activate main, limit 1, choose one of your green Frieza army cards and place it in the owner's drop. Your opponent discards 1 card from their hand. So it gives you more discard, gives you a 19k body, has deflect. That's pretty nice. Overall, good card for starter Frieza. I know a lot of people like that on like a rogue hand control level, so maybe this combined with some other new stuff will kind of help that deck out, and maybe it can be a rogue tier hand control deck. I think we all kind of low-key hope that hand control is just never more than rogue tier, because when it's too good, it's really annoying and kind of oppressive. So if this makes starter Frieza better, I'm all for that. Probably won't make it too OP though. Then we have Ginyu, a captain's responsibility. So this is for the green Ginyu deck, which I think is also at a set 10. 2-drop 15k, deflect, unique, permanent. If you lose a Ginyu Force card and it's your turn, your other green Ginyu Force cards with an energy cost of 2 gain barrier. That's really good, actually. I wish it granted it to itself, but that's still okay. When this card's played, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add up to 1 Ginyu Force card and one to your hand, and place the rest of the top or bottom of your deck in any order. Honestly, this is a solid card for green Ginyu. I mean, do I think that deck's going to do anything crazy in the upcoming future? Probably not, but this is a really solid card, giving your guys a bunch of protection. This thing has you deflect itself, so it has protection, at least trying to hit the board. And yeah, solid card for a pretty interesting deck. You know what? Green Ginyu is actually a lot like green KP. They both just spam the board at 15Ks, albeit in a different manner of doing so, but still a cool, neat deck. I enjoyed playing it back in the day, so I'm happy about this card. Prince of Destruction Vegeta, Proud Defiance. We have 3-drop 5k, so not great stats, but it's got Servant, so it's technically a 15k. We have Barrier, permanent. This card can't attack. Well, that's weird. And if your opponent has more energy than you, this card gains Blocker. Anti-ramp anyone? I don't know. This is looking a little weird so far, but anyways, when this card is played, draw 1 and place 1 card from your hand at the bottom of your deck. So placing cards at the bottom of your deck in Majin Vegeta does kind of allow you to combo off in an interesting way, because the leader has the ability to play servants from the bottom of the deck. And there's a 3-drop servant that ends up being like a 30k double strike, and if your opponent counters, it restands itself, so it can swing twice for 30 double. That's a pretty cool combo, and this can help sort of facilitate that. Activate main, limit 1. If your leader is a green Evil Wizard Bobbity card and your opponent has 1 or more energy, play this card from your hand. So it seems to be a free play blocker, and yeah, that's not bad. Activate main, if your leader is a green Evil Wizard Bobbity card and you place this card from your hand at the bottom of your deck, choose 1 unison and remove a marker from it. I like that too. I mean, all these cards that I'm reading for their respective archetypes, they seem solid. Again, like, are they going to bring their archetypes up to like tier 1 or 1.5? Probably not, but I know that there are a lot of dedicated Majin Vegeta players. They like the aggro the deck represents. This isn't necessarily an aggressive piece, but it is kind of neat for unison removal, especially if they have a pesky defensive blocker unison. I like that it gives you a bit more defense, and since the deck is kind of so pedal to the floor, being a free form of defense with a barrier blocker is definitely not a bad thing. It's a servant, so you can always bottom deck it to draw a card. Again, for the archetype that it's printed for, I think this is a decently solid card. Then we have Majin Buu the Insatiable. This is really interesting. So this is a Z Awaken for a green over the green Majin Buu leader when your life's 3 or less. And this is a 20k leader. So defensively, that's really good. And I think a 2 Z energy cost is relatively cheap, so I'm also very happy about that. I think it's kind of weird that he starts off as a Kid Buu leader, or I guess his Awakened side's a Kid Buu leader, and then he Z Awakens into theoretically a weaker form, but it is what it is. So activate main, once per turn, place 3 non-leaders from under this card in the owner's drop. Then play up to 1 Majin Buu with energy cost of 4. Sorry, a green Majin Buu with energy cost of 4 from your hand. So that's meant to play the Gotenks Majin Buu, as far as I'm aware. I have to go through and see if there are other 4-cost green Majin Buus. I don't think there are, but that's okay. Then the activate main, once per turn, place 1 card from your hand under this card, draw 2, then choose one of your opponent's battle cards in their battle area or drop area and place it under this card. Then choose 1 keyword skill from the card chosen, this card's skill, and this card gains that skill for the turn. Okay, there's a lot of cool things going here. Let's ignore that middle activate main. The second activate main is just generic removal, and it's activate main speed draw, which means you can swing with your Awakened leader, get that draw, and then Z Awaken and draw some more. So theoretically, you'll build a pretty big hand with this leader. 20k means you're going to be defending yourself pretty well, which increases the value of dormant potential, because, you know, typically when you dormant, you got to do something about that initial attack that dormant doesn't actually negate, but being a 20k leader makes that a lot easier. And I think there's just a really good green leader. Like, I think there's maybe some potential for like a green good stuff deck, or even maybe a green blue good stuff deck, or maybe, and this is more of a stretch, but maybe even some other multicolored green deck could be cool here. This just seems like a really good green leader, possibly the best green leader that maybe exists, at least generically. This seems really solid. Then we have SS Goku, Awakened by Rage. This card's kind of weird in my opinion, but it's a 1-drop with a 2Z energy cost, 10k power. Auto when this card's played until the end of your opponent's next turn. This card gains plus 5k power and can't be removed from your battle area by skills. So that's a pretty nice piece of protection there. Auto limit 1. If your leader is a green Sun Goku card, you discard 1 card from your hand. When a card is placed from your deck in your drop by one of your leader skills, your opponent discards 1 card from their hand. Very cool effect. This will support both the Clash of Fates Goku leader as well as the set 10, I want to say, Goku leader, where he can crit 2 of his lives to wipe the board, which is kind of a powerful effect, but it came at the cost of critting 2 life, which is a very, very big ask. But this card attempts to fix that. So auto limit 1 for 2 green. If you have Sparking 15, if your leader is a green Goku card, when a card is placed from your life in your drop by one of your leader skills, add 2 cards from the top of your deck to your life. So essentially what this says is, for 3 energy, you can board wipe ignoring barrier and keep your 2 life basically. If you want to crit the 2 life, if you're fine with that, go ahead and forget about playing this card. But if you're in a situation where you want to pay 3 to purely wipe the board and I guess swing for a 15k, you can do that with this card. That is going to require Sparking 15 though, and the leader mills 3 on swing. So you're probably not trying to wait until turn 5 to board wipe, especially in this fast of a meta. But I guess you'll build up Sparking with other cards, super combos, dormant, negates, whatever the case is. Overall, seems like a decent card though, again, for what it's meant to represent. So I guess the theme of this video has just been that green got some cool cards. Again, like decent for the archetypes they've been printed in. I just don't think they're going to necessarily bring any of the decks up to top tier. And I wonder if that was their goal of Anniversary Box. I wonder if they printed a lot of these cards and wanted some of these older decks to come back into the limelight, because as of late, it seems like they want the game, or at least the meta, to be ran by newer decks. And that makes sense for selling product. But I mean, when you're printing a new product that is meant to support legacy stuff, do you want it to be really strong? Do you want it to compete with the new stuff? That's a pretty interesting design philosophy question that I'm curious what you guys think of that. But anyways, again, drop your opinions down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.